Have you ever considered what it's like to immerse yourself in a sound bath? Well, today I have you covered. Join me as I invite a special guest to dive into the unique experience of a sound bath and spill all the details on the Afterbath. Welcome to the Afterbath, where we explore unique experiences and wellness practices. I'm your host, Matt. Today we have a special episode where we'll be diving into the world of sound baths. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be immersed in soothing sound waves, you're in for a treat. Today we're joining Loretta as she embarks on her second of 6 back-to-back sound baths, continuing her inspiring journey towards inner peace. After her first session, Loretta experienced a blissful state of calm, but as the week unfolded, she found herself slipping back into the familiar patterns of the daily grind. Now she's hoping the second sound bath will help her reconnect with that sense of inner bliss. So, will this session reignite her serenity, or will the pull of the old habits prove too strong? Let's keep watching together.
Well.
Yeah, Loretta. How you going?
Very good.
That's good.
Very good.
So you're back for your second sound bath.
I am.
Great.
I am.
So, what happened this week?
An interesting week.
Yeah.
After everything that happened with my husband getting raced into hospital.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all worked out fine.
Oh, great.
He was there for 4 days.
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing, yeah. Under great care over in Box Hill, looked after beautifully by the nurses and doctors and, you know, really gold standard stuff. But
great.
So, crisis averted.
Yeah.
But it is full on when you're in the middle of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the unknown.
Yeah. And that was the interesting thing, to have the sound bath in the middle of that, especially on that Saturday, to have all that uncertainty in the morning.
Yeah.
He'd only just been raced into Box Hill. The thoughts racing through my head, the list of all the people that I had to contact to make them aware of what's happened, the worry of the what ifs.
Yep.
To be talking to Rick and he's always pretty. He's a bit of a tough thing.
Yeah.
He said, you know, don't miss the sound bath.
Yeah.
And he was just in getting a lot of the testing done, or all of the blood testing and X-rays and different things getting done. So he said, there's nothing else you can do. Don't not go.
Yeah.
So the before and after the sound bath, it was interesting to walk back into the hospital after that. Was such an interesting contrast.
Yeah.
I felt like I was walking in a dream.
Yeah.
I even had the theme song of that beautiful Electric Fields song.
Oh, yeah.
Walking in a Dream.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting, that just gave me shivers. It's like every person that I interacted with, even before I actually got into the reception part of that new part of the hospital, had a charm about it.
Yeah.
Like all the different ages, there was a very old, decrepit, humped over lady still shuffling along, and she happened to catch my gaze and it was lovely. Yeah. And then I went to the reception, and the security guard and the busy people on reception were beautiful. Yeah. And then I walked over to the elevators, and the politeness and the joy with which we were all there for probably very serious things, and there was a feeling of joy. Funnily enough. I still shake my head over that. Yeah. That whole day felt like that. Yep. Stayed with me until the Sunday. Yeah. I slept really well. Yeah. I dropped that edginess, that little raggedy sort of panic feeling of what is happening, where's this going to land, you know. Yep. So felt safe.
Yeah.
I didn't have all the worries that were filling my head the day and the night before.
Yeah.
So beautifully timed.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes. And then as the days rolled on,
yeah,
I was taken out of that.
Got it.
You know, stuck in traffic, grating annoyance. Mm-hmm. The amount of correspondence I had to keep up with keeping everyone informed.
Yeah.
Which is just what you have to do, but it's not easy when you've still got your list of commitments that you had before all this event happened.
Mm.
So the challenge of juggling all that and remaining, you know, on a level keel,
yep,
was a little bit more challenging. And I kept thinking I'd like to get back to that state of, you know, after the sound bath where I could just still roll through all the to-dos but not feel so overwhelmed by it all.
Yes.
So I'd actually sort of go, okay, take a deep breath, sort of feel that rippling through sensation.
Yeah.
And I could, but I couldn't hold it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So if you think about, you know, when you go through the process of sleeping, and the first stage of sleeping is you get this kind of woozy, like drifting off kind of thing. Well, you're going into a different state of mind then, and to give that a name would be theta.
Yeah.
And at that stage you're very suggestible, and you're very comfortable, and it's generally a pretty nice feeling. Generally people don't stay there for very long because it's then like boom, straight off to sleep. Yeah. But during that period you can become very open to suggestion. Yeah. So it's a much easier state, or it's similar to the state that you're experiencing basically. Yeah. Then as you go through about your day, when you wake up, you start to head from theta into alpha. Alpha is learning. So that's a still pretty good state of mind. You might be sitting at the breakfast table reading something and feeling, you know, pretty, I feel pretty good. And then after alpha, you start to go into beta. And so once you're in beta, then you're up and moving around. And at that stage, you're breathing. If you're not breathing big breaths, you'll probably start to shallow breathe. And then you'll go, I need to do these little to-do things.
Yes.
And the shallow breathing on top of the fast movement, you're slowly suffocating. Yeah. And then you start to freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start to freak out.
Yeah.
Now, funny enough, after beta you go into high beta, which is full stress mode, which is what you would have been feeling last week.
Yeah.
But then if you keep pushing, you go into gamma. And gamma is when you go into another flow state. And so it's like if you were to do downhill skiing or base jumping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the fear basically moves out of the way because your life now depends on you functioning.
Yes.
Yeah. So gamma you can experience while meditating.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a very high functioning state. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you can get there. You might say you're moving from human problem solving to above, so a higher consciousness, a God consciousness, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
So through repetition you can get there. Yeah. And also through repetition you can get back to beta as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And generally what might be happening is that you might be so used to beta
stuck,
that it's just a habit.
Yes.
Yeah. So all you need to do is go into gamma, or you can go back to alpha, or theta. Yeah.
Okay.
A way to think of that then is that the more relaxed you get, there's an area just before you fall asleep. Because, you know, like when people say, oh, I'm getting more and more relaxed, more and more relaxed, more and more, whoa, out.
Yeah.
But when you're meditating, you're getting more and more relaxed, but you're still sitting up straight with eyes closed or eyes open. Yeah. And so then you can get into these very functional states where you're still, you know, either sitting or even moving around, but staying in this meditative state.
Yeah.
So meditative waking state. And that's where things get really interesting. Yeah. You start to see things that you normally wouldn't see if you're in beta. Beta is, I liken it to, you know, when you're afraid you're going to miss out and you're at the back of the line?
Yes.
And if you're really afraid, you'll start pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then everyone around you starts looking like an object.
Yes.
And then you need to push.
Yeah.
Push them out of the way.
Yeah.
And what happens at that stage is that you're so afraid that you're not seeing much. You're not working with the flow of the universe, you're just barging through. Yeah. And when you're barging through, breath becomes shallow and you become like a bull in a china shop. So then when you can feel that. You know, you can, you know,
definitely.
Like it feels bad.
Yes, and it annoys everyone in the line. Everyone's
there. Yeah, everyone's upset.
Yeah,
and you can just feel it in your body. You'll feel jangly, like shaking.
Yes.
Yeah, but it might be very under control. But if you've ever seen someone who is suffering from a real mental illness, like a very full-on mental illness, or even on some, you know, like maybe they've drunk 5 coffees in a shorter space of time, or maybe are recovering from drugs or on drugs. If you look at their body, you can literally see it shaking. Yeah. Like they're just, and they can't stop. People do it also when they get angry. You know, you can see when people are just getting the shakes.
Yes.
So beta can feel obviously like that, and you'll start to feel shaky. How bizarre was that?
The walls are feeling shaky.
Yeah. That's so weird. Yeah. Anyway, I won't bring attention to it. That was monumentally weird. That was a Buddhist mandala that fell down.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Spooky.
Yeah, spooky. Yeah. So when you're feeling like that, it's better to then sit down and do some type of mindful breathing. You can feel the sensitive parts of your body. Sensitive parts of your body would be the palms of your hands, soles of your feet. And, you can put your hands on your knees and just feel the palms of your hands. Concentrate on that. Or feel the soles of your feet on the ground. Probably better that you take shoes off and socks off and you just feel the ground. Yeah. And from those sensitive areas, they can feel quite pleasurable. Yeah. And then you can start to go, I feel nice. And then your breathing will stabilize. You'll feel a lot better. Yeah. But yeah, if you've got a strong to-do list in your head...
and a partner that's forever got a long to-do list, and he's always on a mission to get that list finished. Yeah. And he carries that energy. Yes. And so do I. So, yeah, we do need to calm the hell down a bit. Yeah. And I do strive for that gamma state. And I'm mentioned to you last week, that's actually my goal, to try to get into that flow state, to have the if possible, 3 sessions a week where I can just engage creatively as much as possible in my work in that state.
Yeah.
So stepping into it, the way you sort of mapped it out with waking up in the morning and you're coming into the beta stage where you can, you get your news update or whatever you're reading in that morning. Yeah. And then I do feel it in myself. If I've got everything sort of sorted and got stuff done, I'm doing it in that energy, but I'd like to step into that gamma. Bracket off at least 3 hours and focus on my creative work in that state.
Yeah, you'll probably find that's pretty easy once you just get into your workflow. Yeah, because you probably find that when you're in a workflow and you're not looking at the clock.
I don't even want a clock in the room.
Yeah.
I'll put a timer outside the door, but not have no clock.
Yeah.
Timeless.
Yep. I usually find, for me, those types of states are easy for me. Might be different for you or other people. But when doing things like simple accounting, where I actually don't need to think very much. I just need to add things.
Yes.
And then it's like, this is just going through a motion, a repetitive motion. It's very easy then.
Yeah.
But when, say, if I have to do social media posts and and I need to get them done in the next 10 minutes or I'm going to lose my window of opportunity.
Yes.
The beta starts coming back and the breath gets short and it's like, you should just relax. Just relax.
Pain.
Yeah.
Relax and
don't worry about it. If you miss this window of opportunity, there's tomorrow or there's another hour coming up later on.
Yes.
There's a good chance maybe not many people are going to look at it anyway.
Yeah.
What's it really nothing's going to happen if you don't.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about missing out on millions, well, you probably already have millions if you're worried about missing out on millions. So what's a couple more millions to your already couple of million?
You got millions in other forms.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting thing. Anything else?
That beautiful meditative practice that you showed me.
Yeah.
And at that point, I thought, this is exactly what I need to introduce.
Yeah.
But once the busyness came back in, I kept looking because I put a little reminder just sitting on the kitchen bench.
Yeah.
21-minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that the translation is I am.
Yeah.
Just hit the right spot for me at that point. So sits there every morning. I see it and I go, I'll get to that. Couldn't. Even in the car, I sat there thinking, I could do this. I've got 10 minutes before I get to my destination. Yeah. And either traffic just annoyed me enough or something else, a text ding went off or a call came through. So I just struggled with even getting that in. Yeah. So there's my goal, to have that added into my process. Yeah.
That's for me. That's the thing that I must do. Like
do you do it daily?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
So I do it in the morning and then the afternoon.
Okay.
And it has to be done every day. It's like, like when you feel the urge to go to the bathroom, you don't go tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. It can wait.
It can wait. Yeah. Or when you feel the urge to sleep, it's like, no, tomorrow I'll sleep.
I'll catch up next week.
Yeah, it's okay. I just keep burning. Yeah. No, you got to sleep. You got to eat.
You do? Okay. All right, so I just have to accept this is one of those non-negotiables.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And then, like once you get the habit going, you'll probably find that you can actually go throughout your entire day tapping into that state, just doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably find that you can stare at, even a flower.
Yeah.
And see the glow of it and connect with that state and go, oh yeah, I'm heading towards a meditative state. So
I love that.
Yeah. The benefit of doing a meditation is that it's stronger. So you get a really good, dose of it. So you're like, oh, this is the state.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the state. And so then throughout the day, when you're going, I'm going to tap into that, then you know what to look for. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it's much easier.
Okay. And you don't, obviously, I'll say it's silly, but you don't multitask while you're doing it. You don't walk through the house. Because I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get everything done. 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, once you're good at it, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and stay in that state. Like, literally, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need to be very in the moment. A good way to think of it is that you need to go really deeply into now. Yeah, it's like you need to become so involved in this moment that you start to go, all right, now I see, the universe really unfolding.
Yes.
Whereas before I'm wrapped up in a to-do list in my mind. And, it's like when we did the eye gazing, things around the eyes begin to melt away. And it's very easy to focus, and it's quite powerful.
Very powerful.
So, but you can do that looking at a block of cheese. You just need to look at the block of cheese and go, wow, this is everything. Yeah. And it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's easy to get into that state. It's when you're looking at the block of cheese as merely a means to an end. Like, oh, this is going to feed someone. It's just, like, it just needs to be put on a plate and put on the table and then it's on to the next job. Yeah. So it's really just another thing on the to-do list, yeah?
Yes.
But if you really look and engage with what you're doing, you can stay in that state all day long. All day long. Yeah.
Already, my monkey mind's challenging that, saying, okay, easier said than done.
Sure.
Just from my world, you feel very practiced and experienced at it.
Yeah.
And because I don't meditate.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, geez,
how am I going to do it? Yeah. So you probably already do it, but unaware. So you ever sat in a car before, looked out the window and just seen the white lines, and you're not thinking, you're just staring off into the distance, looking at the white lines on the road, or watching the telephone poles, or looking at the trees go past, or a wide open space, or the blue sky, or the clouds.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you start to go, no thought. That's all it is.
Yeah, actually I do at home.
Yeah.
Especially like looking at a fern frond.
Yeah.
Or watching a butterfly, meander around the garden. Or I do. Yeah.
So all you need to do is stay in that state just a bit longer. Yeah.
Okay.
If you stay there for an hour, you'll start to really feel things. Yeah. But most of the time people don't do that. Not adults. We're too busy doing the to-do list. Yeah. But if you just stay in that state, 21 minutes.
21
minutes.
Doesn't sound like much, but when in the morning I get that anxiety of just hurry the fuck up.
Yeah. Quick, get
Come
going.
On, get breakfast in there and get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing is like once you're used to this state, and you actually will probably find that you won't need as much sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't need as much sleep. You probably...
Yeah, look, lately I've needed so much.
Yeah.
I get tired from... We had a funeral yesterday and I just came home exhausted. And I just noticed anything emotional now, I need an extra hour or two added to an 8.5 hour sleep.
Yeah. Just to process.
It was a... not a really heavy funeral. It was more of a celebratory event.
Yep.
So, yeah, it shouldn't have been as taxing as what it was on my body. I just felt really tired, really...
Yeah.
I got to go to bed. This is, early night for me.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely... what I've experienced is that when you go through some type of, heavy thing to process, it requires sleep. Yeah, it requires sleep.
Yeah.
And then once you've gotten through that period, you can go through a giggly stage when you realise how silly it all is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after the giggly stage, you get energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it just releases that tension.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's like you're on laughing gas.
Yes.
It's like you just see everything in a totally new light, and you realise the joke's on you, but you're the one that's been playing it all along.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that's what the difference was between the before and after last week's sound bath.
Yeah,
because that tension that I was holding, everything was too much. Like it was all super tense.
Yes.
And the after being through the sound bath, afterwards walking around, it's like I dropped that tension.
Yeah.
And like almost on a cellular level, it was just breathing properly, open again.
Yeah.
And almost a reset back to a younger version of me, like a more open, less fearful, kinder. Yeah. A kinder version, Yeah.
I think at least the thing that I've experienced of getting older is when you look at your family.
Yeah.
and you realise not only your own mortality but their mortality as well.
Yes.
And if you've got little ones, that's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the memorial yesterday, that was a real reminder, because what we'd just been through with the hospital and the events that all unfurled, it was very interesting to see yesterday with a big room filled with well-wishers and people paying their respects. But all the age groups, so all the little toddlers running around, and the very old, sitting in the chair with their walking frame for support. So to see all the generations and such a visceral reminder of what we had just been through just the week before. This could be us sitting here talking about, he was lovely, he was, I don't even want to go there. But it was right in our face. So it was a very good, healthy reminder of all the things to be grateful for, all the things to be reassessed as well. And the feeling that I carry around with me at the moment, that tension, that's one of the things I just need to be really starting to get clear on. Why is that there, and how do I clear that energy? Because I've just accumulated this, it's almost an armour, that armour that, because I've been fearful of this, or I've been angry or resentful over something else, and so it kind of adds to every chink in the armour. And I end up this tense, heavy chainmail dragging around. And so that's my another one on the list is get clear on that. Why is that still hanging there? Start to drop it. That doesn't have to be there anymore.
Yep.
Reassess all that.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, there's something, like very interesting. At this stage in your life, you're just at the golden opportunity to do this kind of work, because if you think about it, by the time you get to 70, your ability to do it will be greatly diminished.
Yeah.
So it's this window of opportunity that comes about once you pass through, say, 40 and above, or, past, say, 45 or 40, then you've got till about 70. And before 40, you're so busy trying to, buy a house, raise kids.
Yeah. The big hamster wheel.
Yeah, big hamster wheel.
Yeah.
That this kind of work seems ridiculous, like such a time waste.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why would you ever do something like this? It's such a time waste. But then once you get to this age now, you've got a golden opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, once you get to 70, that's going to be...
I see it so clearly now.
Yeah. You won't have the ability.
Yeah. I've had different health issues, different practitioners working on different stuff, but I know it goes deeper than just having a medication list or a supplements and all the it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's, the issues are in the tissues. I'd like to, sort of get in those tissues and really get deep. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely yoga can be very helpful because there's a certain amount of chemicals that end up in your muscles.
Yes.
And if you can release that through yoga, stretching, things like that, then you'll relax a lot more.
Yeah.
You get a lot stronger, a lot more flexible, but then you won't be as stressed. Yeah. So anyway, that might be on the to-do list as well, maybe.
Yeah. I'm happy. Yeah. It has to happen.
Yep. But, you can do a massive amount you can yoga is not a necessity. You can do it all with just meditating. Because, look, there's lots of, high level spiritual guys and girls out there who are not particularly fit. Yeah. So, you don't have to be, like an athletic yoga practitioner. Yeah. So just the meditation enough.
I was thinking this morning it's going to force me to reframe how I structure a whole week to week through the year.
Yeah.
And it's almost like all of, getting a good sleep, eating well, then setting a proper practice in place.
Yeah.
Which includes meditation and some form of yogic stretching and that sort of thing. Get all that in place. What time is left over? And if it is 5 hours a day, then work within that. Yeah. Rather than the other way. I've always worked the other way around.
Yeah.
When I was racing around in, design world and having to always be chasing deadlines, always having to hit deadlines, that's what came first.
Yes.
And then I'd race to get something to eat. Race to get home, race to, organise for the next day and set and repeat. Yeah. And then if there was time, I'd do, my fitness stuff. And actually I was quite good with keeping regimented with that.
Yeah, that's good.
But beyond that, there wasn't, and also I was thinking, I'm not a meditator, I can't do that. My mind's just racing, so... it wouldn't work for me, doesn't work for me, that kind of thinking.
Yes. So here's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel then. From all the teaching that I've done, when I look at a student who is not in a present state of presence, they'll fluff around so much that 90% of all their effort is in fluffing around, doing unnecessary, almost ritualistic gestures to try and get their ducks in a row long enough for them to actually do something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a weird thing. It's like they'll be on such a, like almost you'd call a buzzy coffee high.
Yes.
That they're constantly dropping the ball.
Yes, yeah.
And they'll do something and then, they'll have a window open on their computer and then they'll look at the next window and then they'll come back to the previous window and go, I have no idea what I'm doing, and they'll start the whole process again.
Yes.
And they'll sit there and do it for about half an hour and I'll be going, what are you doing? You're just moving from window to window. You're not actually getting anything done.
Exactly. ADHD.
Yeah.
And you're not remembering any of that.
Yeah.
He probably couldn't recall what he'd clicked on.
Yeah.
And read for that 2 minutes or 5 minutes.
That's right. Yeah. So, you're just spinning the wheels.
Yes.
But, if you stay in a state of presence, you'll go, okay. This is actually quite simple.
Yeah.
All I need to do is this little thing.
Yes.
And even if you have trouble with short-term memory, you'll put things in place to help you to go, all right, this and then this. And then I'm going to turn off the computer. And the other half an hour I have spare, I can lie down on the ground and have a rest.
All right.
Yeah. So, you'll find you'll be able to get a lot more done.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll probably find that you won't need to sleep as much. Yeah, you'll probably find yourself moving towards more nourishing foods anyway. Some of the things that, if you're used to or whatever. Sometimes, and depending on, what your habits are, if you're a drinker, you might find yourself drinking less. Yeah.
I hardly drink.
Oh, that's a good step.
And the only time I eat junk food is emotional binging.
Yeah.
Which I now call out. I'll actually say, okay, yes, I'm
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
emotionally eating right now. Just let me.
Yeah, absolutely. And pour yourself into that. Why not?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, better to sit there and thoroughly enjoy it than feel guilty over it, right? You may as well really enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, we should go and have a sound bath. Yeah? All right.
Ready.
Let's go.
Okay.
Imagine a moment carved out just for you. Reclined in gentle stillness, you are cradled by waves of pure resonant tones, Tibetan singing bowls, gongs, and chimes, weaving their magic. Each sound becomes a loving embrace, reaching into the deepest corners of your being, dissolving tension and inviting serenity. In this sacred space, the outside world melts away, the chatter of the mind quiets, replaced by the soft hum of harmony flowing through you. It's not just an escape, it's a homecoming, a reminder of your innate balance, strength, and connection to the infinite. Here, relaxation is just the beginning. A sound bath is a radiant pause in life's rhythm, offering renewal, clarity, and peace. Whether you're seeking a moment of stillness or a deeper connection to yourself, this is your time. Step through the doorway and let the whispers of the universe guide you back to your center. This is your invitation to realign, recharge, and remember the essence of who you are.
Yes, you would get the effects of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, sometimes I pick up whatever the person's doing. So sometimes if someone comes in with a crook neck, I'll feel it. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
So
yes. Are we recording?
We're recording. So
that's interesting because, funnily enough, I was at the Chinese herbalist, but he also does all the rest. and my issue was my shoulder.
Right.
And holding tension in my neck and down my back. So, and it was all related to all the anxiety and pressures of the week.
Yes.
But also that's how I hold myself a lot of the time in a state of tension.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that.
No.
If you picked up on that.
No. The only thing I think I felt today was malaise, just because it was so warm. And I think probably about, halfway or 3/4 of the way through the sound bath, I was like, oh, wow, it's pretty warm in here.
Yeah.
Nice on the floor where you were.
It was.
Yeah, nice and cool because of that cement floor.
Yeah.
But around the roof, there's like just that, you could just feel, like a foot below the roof. It was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The air temperature difference.
Yes.
Anyway, this is now post second sound bath.
It is.
In case anyone's wondering, what are they talking about?
What's going on here?
Yeah. So, how are you feeling now?
I feel really good.
Oh, that's great.
I feel very grounded.
Yeah.
Soothed.
Yep.
Yes, very... something was dealt with. There was stuff that was triggered. I got a little bit teary.
Yeah. Can happen,
Yeah, and it was related to the armour, that sort of theme of carrying around too much armour.
Yeah.
And it went back to, I feel like, where that armour started to get built.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, when you feel like your personal space has been maybe interfered with. Someone's gotten too close, and so you start to build armour.
Yeah. Or protect. It was more protective armour.
Yeah.
During the secondary school years, early secondary school years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I hadn't even sort of gone back to those issues for so long. I haven't even, haven't even thought about it. But that's what came up.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. You can build things from a very early age and think, oh, yeah, it's no big deal.
Knowing that, that was a big deal. Well, it was formative. It impacted me, and issues stayed for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's funny, a lot of stuff that I feel like I've been dealing with go back to, a younger time in life, like 8, 9.
Yeah.
And that was my focus.
Yep.
But that session there brought back those teenage years.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Where I feel like I needed to build protection because I wasn't being protected. I didn't have, parents that knew. I suppose I didn't say anything because I didn't know how to verbalise a lot of stuff, and also they had a lot of kids to look after. They had 5 of us to try to look after and get through the day, and but I don't think. Well, I know that they weren't really all about talking.
Yeah.
not about let's talk about this.
Yeah.
It's like today, it's a very different space we walk in. But back then, you didn't even go there. I wasn't picked up from school and like, oh, you're not looking happy. What's happened?
Yeah.
What happened today?
Yeah.
We didn't venture into any of that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where the armour was constructed to protect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And so you kind of feel like you can let some of that go now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess from what I see is we're a little bit like plasticine. We get when we don't exercise, certain parts of us, we stay in that kind of solid area, stuck. But if you keep playing with plasticine, it starts to soften, and then then you can move it around. You can move a lot more.
Well, at the beginning of that session, I remember just having my fingers sort of trying to relax like this.
Yeah.
And at some point I must have fallen asleep.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, they just melted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it softened whatever thought process was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a good chance that you have a way of getting through life, and some of that is by force. Because, that's what you learn. You learn, I can make my way through this area if I just push hard enough.
Yes. Toughen up.
But, what you maybe don't realise is an easier way.
Yes.
And you're trying to fit through a very narrow corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a self-imposed corridor.
Yeah.
You're not aware. Aware.
Yes.
And so it's a little bit like, when you take a little one to the lolly shop and they're looking for the perfect lolly and it needs to be just right. Yeah. It's like, well, you're walking down a very narrow corridor of likes and dislikes. You could free yourself up and expand your horizons. But sometimes you get so determined. No, I'm only going to enjoy this.
Yeah,
it's got to be like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very clear.
Yeah. So that usually probably stems from trauma of some type, and thinking, I never want to experience that again.
Yeah.
And then, it's interesting how we then form our view of the world, and it's probably a little bit like when you get upset with someone, you don't realise that you've stuck them in a box of your design. And the only way they can be is within those parameters of your box. And if they jump out, you get upset. What are you doing out of the box?
Yeah.
You've got, in order to be someone I like, you need to be contained within this box of
and
my
defined.
Likes. Yes, defined. Yeah.
I've made up my mind.
Yeah.
This is the whole story. That's who you are.
Yeah, that's right.
And you feel it yourself when it's done to you.
Absolutely.
It's a projection.
Absolutely.
Put on you, very limiting.
Very limiting, yeah.
And you feel like saying, hey, that's not the full story.
Yeah.
If you only understood that because of this, this and this.
Yeah.
You're seeing that version of me, yeah.
That's right, yeah. But, that's more the way a lot of people function. Or not a lot, maybe some people function. And because there's such a wide variety of people, doesn't mean that everyone's going to do that to a very full-on extreme. But you will come up against individuals as we all do, who are very rigid in their ways.
Yes.
And depending on how rigid we are will depend on how well we can navigate them.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think part of this process will remind me and help me actually just open up a bit more to the possibilities of not boxing situations in. Yeah. And not getting so rigid.
Yeah.
Because I did notice through that process just then that, the monkey mind went over time, and there was a lot of discussions going on in my head. Yes. Until the grand gong did its thing. That was... Yeah. I was like, pay attention here.
Yeah.
Snap out of that shit.
Gone. Yeah.
It's almost like the galactic gong. It's sort of coming from somewhere else. Yeah. Loud and all encompassing. Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah.
Cut that.
Yeah. It's all gone. It's all gone.
And that levelled it. That took away all the chatter.
Yeah. Yeah, probably maybe what you experienced, is that the initial bowls allowed you to settle down enough for you to hear the busyness of your mind. Because usually we're so busy, we don't hear the busyness of our mind because we're so busy.
Yeah.
And what's making us busy is our busy mind. We're just not aware of it.
Yes.
And then once you stop being so busy, you can still hear this busy mind.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the gong comes. Blows it all away.
It did.
Yeah. So yeah, it's quite powerful.
And there were two coming from. So there was the big initial clearance of all the other sound waves.
Yeah.
The big gong, but the other two.
Yeah.
Now, I think I said this last time. Are there other gongs in the room? But
no.
You're working off two other bowls to reverberate.
Yeah, well, they will all sing off each other.
Okay.
Because, once you hear anything that's of a similar pitch or is a part of the resonance will start to ring off. So you'll hear multiple.
Okay, and
things.
That really...
Yeah.
I was feeling it here.
Right. Amazing. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yes.
And then after the gong, we did some singing of the bowls.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was that like?
I love that.
Great.
And while you did that, I thought, I have to comment on this. And I had something to say about it, but now it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just everything's dissolved and melted away.
Yeah.
It's a lovely sense, that.
Yeah.
It's a clearance, a health, just a...
Oh, I can breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't that nervousness of, I can't catch my breath.
What was that? What was that second sequence, or the sequence after the gongs?
So then we make the bowls sing. So we go through all 7 bowls.
Yeah.
And we rub them and they sing.
Yeah.
It's in a certain sequence. And, starts around the head and then works its way down to the feet. Yeah.
That's it. I could feel it in my feet.
Right.
So I could feel it coming and then zapping on my left foot.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to say to you. It's almost, that felt like the clearance and a grounding, I don't know the proper way to phrase it, but
sure.
I could definitely feel it in that foot.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely get some very, very interesting sensations, from these types of practices, things that you would normally probably haven't experienced, maybe even ever in this lifetime. And they could be quite an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite amazing. Yeah. I've had times after listening to bowls and whatnot, feeling swirling energy and vibrations moving through my chest, and it almost feels like your body's being put back together in a better sequence or something. It's quite unusual. Yeah. It's so powerful that it's not like an hallucination where you're going, oh, I think this is what's happening. It's like, oh no, I really feel it. This is very full on.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's fascinating. And when certain blockages come up, I've seen people get extremely hot, so hot that they look like they're about to faint, and that can be quite powerful.
Okay.
Cool them down. It's just like a rush of energy going towards their head, which is, you don't actually want a rush of energy going to your head.
No.
Yeah, it's not good. You can do some damage. With all of these practices, they should be gentle and done over a good period of time. doing a very strong, full-on practice would be probably like the equivalent of probably taking a strong drug.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a little bit like being shot out of a cannon. It's just too much.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah.
I just don't think it would be a healing experience. It'd be more like I'm going off to the carnival and I'm going on a ride.
Well, I did actually feel my whole face relax, like all the tension dropped out of my face.
Yes. Amazing.
That felt good.
Yeah. I bet.
Melting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is quite amazing. Yeah. You think you're relaxed.
Yeah.
And then you relax and then you go, I wasn't relaxed at all.
Exactly. I literally felt my jaw, not my jaw, my shoulder drop.
Yeah.
Like you had the towel behind my neck.
Yep.
And I sort of got into position and relaxed a bit and felt fine.
Yeah.
And then you started with that chiming sequence.
Yep.
And the shoulder just went, do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny thing, I find when I'm trying to explain this to other people where it's like, you're going to relax. And sometimes, I wonder if the person is thinking in their head, I don't need that, I'm already relaxed. I'm like, well, try this and then compare what you're feeling now to after. Because I reckon we could get you more relaxed.
Yes. Deeper. Even as we speak, I can feel it in my face, that whole jaw and across here.
Yeah.
That was just full of tension. And I didn't even think it was full of tension.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even interesting just sitting here now. Like, it's quite warm here. I mean, I don't know if anyone can tell. Yeah, it's warm.
34 degrees?
Yeah, something like that. We don't have any... We've got the windows open, but we don't have any cooling in here. But it's quite comfortable.
It is.
Yeah, it's quite comfortable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the more relaxed you are, the more you can definitely cope with. Yeah. Yeah, but I think if I had been busy doing things that I think are important, I'd be probably coming in here going, oh boy, this is, I think we need a bit of aircon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it's quite
no,
amazing.
This is comfortable. I feel, at ease.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would be the scale, say on a scale of 1 to 10, of, say, ease for you now, compared to like when you first came in?
Now that I can compare, I feel very at ease.
Yeah.
When I walked in, I wasn't at ease. The driving, and it wasn't bad traffic, but to get here on time, felt, oh, come on, I've got to get here. I don't want to be held up. There was a bit of roadworks.
Yeah.
But nothing too bad. But, yeah, so I suppose I wasn't at ease. I was okay, but comparing it to now, from wound up to ease, now I'm ease. Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you have a glass of alcohol.
Yeah.
Say if it's like a whiskey or something,
yeah.
and when you get that flush going through you,
yes,
and you just
relax.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, yeah, but no hangover.
No, clear.
Feel
clear.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That is one thing that I find very interesting. The next day feels great, and the sleep is amazing.
Yes,
it
was, and last week, very sound. Long sleep.
Yeah.
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 Deep
sleep.
Very restful.
A lot of creativity going on in those dreams.
Aha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So, anything else? Anything else coming up for you?
Anything else?
There doesn't have to be.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet. But I'm so intrigued by this whole process. I've had this interest for a long time.
Yeah.
I actually did go to this ancient temple. It's over in the Mediterranean. Over in Malta, they've got these beautiful ancient temples.
Wow.
And one of the icons that they found was a lot of these little statues of a sleeping woman.
Right.
And she's this beautiful, voluptuous, curvy woman, and they called her the sleeping woman, and they would place her in the temple.
Right.
And one in particular is called the Hypogeum. It's this underground temple, and it's shaped in a way that reverberates sound perfectly.
Wow.
And that was a healing place.
Yeah.
And when we went there, I had really bad stomach issues.
Yep.
Really couldn't tolerate a lot of food intolerances.
Yeah.
And I went to one of the temples, and it's specifically for women.
Yeah.
And I stood with the guide. I was there with a guide, just the two of us, stood in the doorway of one of these temples, and he started to just relax, and we were just chatting about things, and he said, "What would you really like?" And I said, "Of all the things, I'd love to heal my stomach."
Yeah.
And the second that I said that, a swift, the fast-flying birds flew between the small gap between the stone upright of this doorway and myself, and the gap would have only been about that wide.
Wow.
So it's flown through and flipped and gone through right at the level of the stomach level. And I just turned to him and I said, "Did you see that?"
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, this is amazing, this temple." And from there I was just hooked. I delved into what their whole practice was, and it was sound healing. There were a lot of those temples were about sound healing.
Amazing.
So that was back in 2010 and also 2006, and then after that, so each time I'd go back to some of the different, they've got like maybe just lots of temples. Yeah. So that's why I have such a profound interest in what you do. Yeah. Because it resonates. It resonates. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's incredible healing spaces, as I believe there's an incredible sound healing space in the pyramids.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes.
Which would be fascinating. I've heard of lots of fascinating stories of people doing cymatics in the sarcophagus. Do you know what cymatics is? So you stretch film over, let's say you stretch film over one of the bowls, and then you put dust or sand, and then you play the bowl, and the sand or the dust forms a
pattern.
Shape, a pattern.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was a guy who was audio engineer, is very fascinated, and he had back problems, so he went and either lay or sat in or next to a sarcophagus and toned, and he had a very bad back, and apparently he had healed his back from doing that. He got so fascinated he wanted to come back and do some cymatics, so he got film out and he covered it over a sarcophagus, and he was with a guide, and the guide was a bit nervous him doing it, and anyway, they put a little speaker in the sarcophagus, they put the film over, played the tone, and out appeared was the Eye of Horus. Yeah. And the guide was like, pointing at it going, "What is this?"
Yes.
Yeah. So that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So how that came about, that's pretty fascinating.
Yes.
Maybe their hieroglyphics came from sound.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's so much to it that we haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah.
It's a massive modality that what they learnt we've lost.
Yeah.
And we just need to
refine
go back to it.
Yeah, go back to it.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. So powerful.
The eye of Horus of all
I know.
images to appear.
Yeah, pineal gland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you go through any of the little seaside villages, all their boats have that eye of Horus on the front of the bow of the boat.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
love
fascinating.
That.
Yeah,
okay.
fascinating. So, going forward now, what are you hoping to achieve this week with this new state of mind?
I'd like to carry that with me for longer.
Yeah.
I need to, and I want my daily process to include the 21-minute meditation.
Yeah.
And hopefully keep this level of calm.
Yeah.
See if I can navigate through the week.
Yeah.
Without it getting knocked out of me.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. It's just a continual practice. Keep coming back. Keep coming back.
Yes.
I guess first step would be to become more aware, because we only notice where we're at and when we compare. So if you jumped into a cold pool now, you could definitely compare how warm you are now compared to the cold pool.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's a really big state change.
Yeah.
So if we went from when you first walked in within a second to how you're feeling now, you'd probably even need to sit on the ground, because it would probably knock you over.
Yes.
But because we've done it gradually, you're like, oh yeah, slow state change. Yeah. So as you start to go about your day, you're revving up the motor. Revving. And then when you think, oh yeah, I can really go for it, that's when the mischief really starts.
Okay.
So it can be worthwhile to take a bit of a sabbatical, just go slower. Go slower, and you can push a little bit, but it's good to hibernate a bit to establish a firm base.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll get knocked around by the waves again.
Okay, so I'm getting licensed to have a week off, which actually, because of what happened, the whole hospital stuff, all that, we should be able to carve out a week.
Yeah.
If we can't do it now, when can we do this?
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So slow down and connect to more presence practice for as long as you can throughout the day. You know, even intervals. You could even set a timer, you know, that goes off every hour, and you just check in. Where am I?
Yeah.
And then you might spend 5-10 minutes just coming back. Oh yeah, just notice. Yeah.
I just thought I need to have a recording of that gong.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I can point you to some recordings, and you can listen to them daily if you wish.
Okay.
Yeah, that could help.
Ah.
But
all right.
But yeah, I will show you practices that you can do all day long if you wish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be much more helpful. Yeah. Definitely the sounds definitely help. Yes, definitely help. But yeah, you don't need them. You can get there off your own bat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is ultimately what you want.
It is.
Yeah. Because then
especially
you can
before I walk into a dental session.
Yeah, that's right.
Or anything else that is, sort of a bit tense.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, something that you're dreading. Oh, no, not this. I don't think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
There's going to be pain involved.
Gong.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I need a button.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Well, anything else before we wrap up?
No, just to thank you.
Oh.
That was lovely.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for coming along. All right. Well, thank you. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Likewise.
Thanks, Loretta.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. This has been a fascinating exploration of sound baths. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. Join us again next week as Loretta continues her journey with her third of 6 back-to-back sound baths. Until next time, stay well and keep exploring new experiences.